Testing 1 2 3. 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 Testing. Hello everybody, this is Gary Tonicourt from morethanasnapshot.com. Tonight I wanted to talk about a fairly new plugin from Topaz. It's called Topaz Gigapixel AI. I'm using version 4.0.2, which should be the newest version. And it's an interesting piece of software. It's supposed to take maybe a smaller image or one that you've cropped heavily, and allows you to resize it and upscale it. And not only that, while you're in the process of doing that, to also improve the quality of the image. Maybe remove some noise and to clarify the image. So it could be very useful. I've still been testing it. In this little live stream, I plan on just running through some images and testing it out and seeing what other people think. I don't do a whole lot of live streams, so this will be interesting to see if it works better than just doing a regular video. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and see if people start coming in. Maybe I didn't set the settings right to do that. I don't know. Let me just check that. Okay, it does all seem to be fine, so I think that everything is ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to head over to Gigapixel AI now, and we'll start taking a look at it. Okay, so I'm going to head over to Gigapixel AI now. Alright, here we have the opening screen of Gigapixel AI, and you can see that it gives you some tips, and if you want to shut that off, you have that option. But it tells you, of course, that you can process one image at a time, or you can process a whole bunch of them at a time. So it is pretty efficient in that way. So I'll just kind of quickly run through this. Of course, you can scale your images by different factors. You can scale them by a factor of 2, 4, 6, etc. Um, or you could switch over to width or height and scale the image, by an exact number of pixels or inches or however you would like to do that. Since you're picking one or the other, the height or the width, it will automatically adjust the other dimension of the image so that it maintains the aspect ratio of the image. Also, when you do this, you can choose to suppress noise, and it'll give you different levels of noise suppression. And it also will help to remove blur. So it really does help to improve the overall image. Okay, this is just showing you when you adjust by width, you can select different things like inches or pixels or so on. Same thing for height. Next, you'll be able to save your image, of course, to any source folder that you want or a custom folder. You can give the file name a prefix or a suffix. Pretty standard file naming stuff. As far as file formats go, there are a whole bunch of file formats and quality levels that you can select. And of course, when you're in the software, you can see a before and after preview. So I'll be showing you some of these things as we go. So I'm going to close out of the tutorial. And here it is. It's a very simple interface. There's not a whole lot to learn, which is nice. It keeps it simple and easy. So the first thing we'll do is open some images, and so I'll just I think I'm just going to go and randomly pick some images that are not necessarily JPEGs. So I'm going to jump into a different hard drive, and I'm just going to select a bunch of random images. I don't even know if they're good images. Let's go to that one. All right, so we have something to work with. All right, here you'll see the left column is the images that I just selected to adjust. The right column is the output name and the size that it will be and the color space that it will be. So of course you can change all of those options. If you wanted to, you could clear all the images all at once. If you made a mistake and you imported the wrong set of images, maybe you just need to clear everything. Or you could go and add more images if I wanted to go to a different folder. And I'll just pick a totally different image. And add that to the list. Okay, and then after, you can see here is our preview, before and after. Here is the original, here is the preview. And then we have this little pop-out window, and this allows us to find a place on the image where we want to look to see what kind of detail we're getting. Right now I'm also zoomed into 100%, so everything is looking kind of blocky. I'm zoomed in pretty far, so I'm going to zoom out to maybe 50% just so I can see a little bit more of the image. At least now I can tell that I'm looking at some feathers here. And now it's about going through the process of picking your options and processing the image. So here with the scale, I could choose an option. Let's see what other options we have. Beyond 6x, they give you a custom scale where you could type in an individual number. But of course, it's just easier to select, 2 times, 4 times, whatever works for your image. So in this case, I'm just going to make it 2 times bigger. And on the noise suppression, I'm going to go with medium. And on the removing of the blur, I'm going to check out different amounts. So first I'll try low and take a look at what my preview looks like. That's not bad. Then I'll try medium. Okay. And then high. And as long as it's not looking like you've damaged or degraded the image, then it should be fine. I may not need to go totally to high, so I'm going to choose medium high. And so that's my basic resizing, options. Again, it's very simple, very straightforward. If I didn't want to go by a factor of 2 here, I could go to width, and I could choose the exact dimensions in pixels, or I could pick inches or centimeters and choose exactly what I want there. Same thing for height. I could choose pixels, inches, or centimeters and pick the exact dimensions that I need my image to be. And once it resizes this side of the image, it will resize the other side of the image to match the scale, so you don't get an image that's not properly balanced with the right proportions. Alright, so now I've chosen my scale and my options. I'm going to choose a folder. I'm going to pick a custom folder, and I've picked this folder that I've named GAI for gigapixel. And here you can see it. If I wanted a prefix on my files, I could say, for example, GAI files, and then on the suffix end it could say output. Of course, you could type whatever you want in these boxes for these files. And then it's going to convert the file format if you want, and then here are the file types that it can convert to. So we can make JPEGs, TIFF files, or PNG files. In this case, JPEG will probably be a frequently used one of mine. And then the image quality, you have choices low, medium, high, and maximum. I usually like to have the best quality, so I'm going to leave it on maximum. And keep the color profile, yes or no. So whatever the original image has, it will keep that. And if it doesn't have any color profile, see here it's not showing a color profile, it's going to choose ProPhoto RGB by default, which is something that's set in the settings. Okay. Now before I begin to process this, if I wanted to check the other images to make sure that these settings work fine for those images, all I have to do is click on the next image and then check those out. Alright, so look at all the quality and detail that's coming out of these feathers compared to the before and the after. And you got to remember, this is going to be a much larger image, so if I wanted to crop in on it more, I could do that now because I've got more megapixels. Just for comparison, I could go back and try high again, and that still looks pretty good. Let me just go back and try medium high. I think I'm liking high better, so I'm going to try high. Now the question is, let's just double check the first one. Did I change everything, or did I just change it on? Yes, it seemed to have changed it on every image. Let's just try that one more time to make sure. So it seems like every time I make a change, it's applying it to every image. So that's important to know. So if you're going to open up a batch of images, they should be all images that are similar enough where you want the same settings applied to them. So here I'm going to drop down to medium, and then I'll check my other images just to see, yes, they all updated with the same setting. So that's an important thing to remember. Whatever you choose here is going to be applied to every image. So if you have images in the stack that are not behaving the same, You may want to X them out and then go back and reopen them and process them on their own, because it's doing them as a group. All right. So I'm just going to check these other ones. And the quality improvement is really, really nice. You can see here on the original image, if I use the little hand tool, I can move around. Not on the preview, you got to be on the original, and I can move around and see the part of the image that I want. So I think let's bump it up a little. Might as well try making it 4 times bigger in case I want to crop in on this image. Again, I'll double check and see if that, yes, that affected all of the images as well. I believe this is the last image that I have in the stack. And it's an owl up in the tree here. I don't even know if this is a good one. Alright, but you can definitely see that it's improved. There's less noise. It's a cleaner image, a sharper image. And even though it wasn't a great image to start with, it is looking much better. So I am pretty impressed with what this program can do. It is much better than the other version of Gigapixel that they had. So they have made a lot of very nice improvements to it. Let's see if I shut this off. I can just see the files. But of course you want to see the preview, so I'm going to put that back on. I'm going to go back up to the top to my first image. And I'm going to process it. I'll hit start. Here you can see the status bar. It's doing the first image. This could take, quite a few minutes because now I'm making the image 4 times larger. I'm converting probably in these cases raw files. I'm processing them, making them larger, making them into ProPhoto RGB. It's doing quite a lot of work to each image, so this could take a while, and I probably made a mistake doing this on a live stream because this could take who knows how long. So I can always cut it short maybe after 1 or 2 images have gone through. While it's doing that, I'll just check the status. I don't know. It says a few people are watching. Hello out there. I hope you're enjoying Gigapixel AI. I know I should not have chosen such a high resolution process here. I'm going to end up having to stop it, or it's going to take forever. But it is making a very large image, so you gotta give it some time to process. Plus my computer's streaming, so that could slow it down. But it is a pretty fast computer, and it does normally handle this kind of work pretty well. Also, you'll notice in the chat window, I've put in a link there to Topaz's website. If you think this program is something that interests you, that you'd want to try out for yourself, they have a free trial. And you can click on that link. It is an affiliate link, so it would help out the channel. And you can try it out for free and see if it's something that works for you. When it's done this image, I'm going to stop it and maybe try to process a smaller version of maybe just 1 or 2 files just to make this move a little faster. All right, we have a question. Stephen asks, how does it compare to the previous version? Well, they made a lot of improvements to how it works. The algorithm that does the processing of the image seems to be much better. I wasn't overly impressed with the quality out of the earlier version, but the pictures that I'm seeing coming out of this one are much nicer. I don't know if it's because of the noise removal and the blur removal, but I am liking that much better. So let's see, while it's processing, if I can open an image. Probably not till it stops. So I'll let it do maybe this one more and I'll stop it. And then I'll choose a lower resize factor and try again. Maybe I should just do that now. I'm going to stop it in the middle of the process. So we'll see how it reacted very well to that. I'm going to click this button to see a preview. It takes you right to the photo. Oh, and this wasn't a very good photo, but you know what? Because of the way I have my stream set up, I have to adjust it so that you can see it. Just give me 1 second. I'm resizing a window and all right, now you can see the bird. You can see that the feather detail is much better. This image had some issues because I believe I shot it through a window, so it kind of has some glare on it. But you can see that even though it was shot through a window, the quality in the feathers is much better. That just wasn't a very good image to start with. So let's see if we can redo some of those. I'm going to put gigapixel back on. All right, and I'm going to lower the factor way down. I'm going to remove this one. And let's see if this speeds things up a bit. Yes, that picture finished very quickly. All right, so now let's take a look at those. Again, I have to switch things over to see that. All right, that's the bird image. Nope. All right. All right, here is the bird image. We'll try to zoom in on some of the detail. Again, it's not a great image, so the effect on this one is not great either. Let's try another one. Now this one I think it could really help, because if I brought it into Lightroom or something, I could crop it quite a bit, and there is a lot of detail in these loons. Let me see if I can zoom in on the loon. So that's much better than it was. Again, it wasn't a great image to start with. Maybe I should look for a better image. Let's try this one. Oops. All right, so zooming in on the owl. The owl in this particular image wasn't great to begin with, but it does look much better also. So I guess the downside of me picking random images was, they weren't the greatest, but you get the idea. I'll try it again with some different images. Let me clear this stuff. Maybe I'll pick a couple of images here that might have some noise in them. We'll do it 2 times bigger. And we'll process that. Okay, right now it is making it 2 times bigger, so it's taking a little bit longer. Not bad though, it's moving right along. Okay, the first one's complete and it's working on the second one. These images are both very similar, so they're probably not going to look any different. All right, it's done. I'm going to open up this one. And turn it on. Try to make it a little bigger for you. And we'll zoom in. So this one's 2 times larger. It did have noise reduction done to it, and it. All right, now we're seeing you. I guess going to 0.05 was making it smaller, not bigger, because now I am seeing a lot of quality and low noise, good sharpness. Yeah, so this one shows its work much better, I think. Let's try making another one. We'll make one of the different images, and we'll make it bigger. So I'll clear these, and I'll get a different image. All right, I'll try to pick an image that would be a night scene that might have a lot of noise in it. So this is looking at a window and some Christmas lights on the window, and you can see the siding in the building. So you can see that there's a lot of color noise here and other noise. And this is the preview. Let's make it 4 times bigger. And let's try a higher level of noise reduction. Let's lower the removing blur. This image was in focus, so probably don't need so much remove blur. I wonder if there's a way I can show you more of the image. Nope, it's only giving me high zoom amounts. All right, so I'm going to process it. Of course, it's taking a bit longer because it's making it 4 times bigger. Just give it a minute. Yeah, Stephen, I did have it on a window for Gigapixel AI because I was getting better coverage of that program. But I did switch over to the screen to show the images. At some point, you must have seen the images, I would hope. I'll try it again this time. Or is it Stefan? I'm sorry. All right, it's complete. I'm going to switch it over. Okay, now hopefully you're seeing the image. And I'll zoom in. Okay, so this was a RAW file. It was shot on a Micro Four Thirds camera at a very high ISO because I was trying to put noise in the picture to see how this noise removal software works. So it did take away a lot of noise, but it didn't seem to remove the color noise very well. They do have AI Clear for that, and it'll probably do a much better job with that noise removal. This program, of course, is really about resizing the image and making it better quality in case you have a small image or if you want to crop. But overall, the image looks pretty good. And if I wanted to crop in on some detail, I have the megapixels to do it. So, I'll go back to Gigapixel AI. Are there any questions? Is there anything else that you would like me to try? I'll clear this one. Again, it's pretty easy and it does a pretty good job. I think where Topaz is going is they want to have a specific program that really specializes. So the Gigapixel AI is going to handle resizing, even though it gives you a little bit of noise reduction, a little bit of blur reduction. It's not really its main function. Of course, they have the AI Clear, which I hear that they're planning on updating soon. And they also have a Sharpen AI. And I think that they're hoping that you get all three plugins, to have them all work together to really improve your images. And like I said, if you want to try it out for yourself, there is a link up at the top of the chat window. You can download a free trial, give it a try. If you want to purchase it, I believe if you use the coupon code Snapshot, you can get a discount. I think it's a 10% discount. And you can use it for yourself. I don't think I have too much more to say about it. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. And you can find me at morethanasnapshot.com. And I hope you found this video to be helpful. So good night, everyone.